field work is finished and the sun disappears, and the night on the prairie calms all of my fears. I pull up a chair on my porch and I stare at the heavenly host beyond all compare. And the sermon of the stars preaches down to my soul of a God who's in charge, who is in full control. They don't need a loud voice to prove that they're real. Their silent old glory is all that I feel.
Each pinprick a light in the dark velvet sky is a promise from God that He'll never pass by. He knows them by number, He calls them by name. If He cares for a star, won't He do just the same?
The moon is a shepherd, the stars are the sheep. He guides them all safely while the whole world's asleep. A celestial choir silently sings of the glory and power of the King of all kings. They've seen empires rise, they've seen empires fall. They watched over me when I stumbled and crawled. So when I feel small, I just look up above, and the stars preach a sermon of His endless love. The night was so long and the cold was a knife. The wolf of my own doubt threatened my life. The darkness brought fears and it brought him so near, leaving my path so uncertain and unclear. But the promise of the dawn is so real and so true. After every dark night there's a sun just for you. The weeping may last for a night, it's okay. But joy's gonna come with the light of the King's day. The stars in the sky seem so distant and small. Everything whispered I was destined to fall. The sounds of the owl, the wind's mournful cry, were voices all saying that I was to die. I remember the word that I'd read once before, that the darkest of nights has an end at the door, that the Son of true justice has already been won, and that none of His children are left on the run. And when the first ray of the morning light shone, all the dark of the night was completely dethroned. And that is the grace that comes from the Lord. It turns the saddest of nights into love's me for the very last time with a sweet memory. The bank took away what my grandfather owned, and my heart was broken and I was alone. But the very same God who taught me to plant is the God who will teach me again that I can be defeated. Though the land's gone, my faith is not lost. A new day is coming, whatever the cost. I saved in my memory the barn and the shed, every inch of the ground where my own father bled. My life story, my home, and my own sacred place is now only dust that the wind will erase. My dear wife was crying and I held her so tight. Don't you worry, my darling, we'll be all right. He closes one door, but he opens a gate. Our real home is with him. We just have to wait. With the clothes on our backs and the boots on our feet, we started again. Though we felt so beat, with no destination, no home, but so sure that God will provide for us. That much is pure. Sunday, barefoot on the porch swing, hearing Mama's voice when she started to sing. An old dusty song about a river of life, washing away the sin and the worldly strife. That melody rooted deep in my soul. Years went by quickly, I chased neon lights, forgot about Jesus on those Saturday nights. The country church wisdom got traded for cash, and my spirit got broken, destroyed in a crash. I tried to forget the songs of my past. When the devil came calling with a heavy dark storm, I heard Mama's old hymn keeping my heart warm. That simple old tune, it brought me back home. It abided my spirit, I wasn't alone. It's a truth that still stands when the world falls apart. I fell on my knees when the memory hit hard, singing those verses in my own backyard. The words that she taught me, they came back so clear, washing away a decade of doubt and a fear. The sound of salvation brought peace to my mind. Now I teach my own children the faith that she knew, that an old country hymn can see right through. It doesn't take much to hear the true word, just the memory of Mama and the love of the Lord. I'm singing His truth. I will overcome. When the devil came calling with a heavy dark storm, I heard Mama's old hymn keeping my heart warm. That simple old tune, it brought me back home. It reminded my spirit I wasn't alone. It's the truth that still stands when the world falls apart. My grandpa left me a silver pocket watch. It was heavy and worn, had a small silver catch. It ticked out the minutes of a life lived so true. He walked with the master in everything he'd do. That timepiece reminds me to count the time. The world tells me, hurry, you're running out fast, to chase every moment before it is past. I tried to cram pleasure into every small slot, but the time of the sinner is easily caught. I wasted my days on things that don't last. The old man's watch tells the truth of my days. It allows me to spend them on Jesus' ways. Don't worry about minutes that slip through your hand. Just walk with the Lord to the promised land. Redemption is time that is true well spent. Grandpa said, son, you can't buy back a day, so give every second to the one who will pay. He showed me how patient the Lord is with me, that a long, faithful life is a true victory. His counsel is wiser than any clock. Now I live in the present, I don't rush the hour. I focus on Jesus and the strength of His power. I tell every friend who is hurried and stressed that time spent with Jesus is truly the best. I'm living His time, I will overcome. The old man's watch tells the truth of my days. It reminds me to spend them on Jesus' ways. Don't worry about minutes that slip through your hand. Just walk with the Lord to the promised land. Redemption is time that is true well spent. I woke up again with the taste of the night. The shadow of sin hid the glorious light. The bottle was empty, my spirit was low. The pain in my soul had nowhere to go. I was broken and tired of the life I had made. The liquid I poured promised to ease the great strain, but it only brought shame and a heavy cold rain. tried to drown the memories and the lies I had told, but the fire of the liquor just burned up my soul. My body was chained to a heavy dark sin. I'd trade the whiskey for the water of life. He pulled me right out of that awful dark strife. The Spirit of God is the comfort I need. He planted His hope, a salvation seed. His love is the only truth there's quenching now. I knelt by the bedside and cried out His name. The fire of conviction burned out all the shame. He came to the darkness and cleared out the haze, and showed me the wisdom of walking His ways. His forgiveness is stronger than any drink. Temptation that tries to pull back, but the light of my Savior keeps me on the right track. I tell every sinner who's struggling and weak, the freedom of Jesus is the water you seek. I'm drinking His grace, I will overcome. Every mark on my hand, every line on my face tells a story of struggle, of grit and of grace, of wet and muddy earth, of the sun and the dust, of a lifetime spent holding a sacred trust. These are the battle scars, they don't come from the fall. They're the marks of a warrior who answers God's call. Each one reminds me of where I have been, and that Your amazing grace has washed me clean. I remember the day that the long drought came by, took all of the hope that the green grass supplied. But down in the dust, my faith didn't break, 'cause who trusts the promise of prize He will take? My barbed wires have cut through my skin, but not through the bone that I have deep within. The pain was a teacher that came to explain that you have to be wounded to heal from the rain. I won't trade my marks for a soft silken bed. They're my own personal manna, my life's watershed. They prove that I failed, but I stood up more strong, guided by God where I truly belong.
left me no silver or gold, just a worn pair of boots and a story he told. A dusty straw hat and advice from a friend: my son, with the Lord you'll win in the end. This is the inheritance that money can't buy, a faith that can lift me when my spirit runs dry, a love for the land and a bond strong and true. This is worth more than anything new. He taught me to read both the wind and the sky, to know when a good, honest thought passes by. He said that the earth gives you all that it can, but what comes from heaven makes you a better man. His hands were so callous from working the plow, but his touch was so gentle, I feel it right now. He taught me a man's true measure and worth isn't in his own strength, but his kindness on earth. Today he is plowing God's heavenly land, and the time that has passed I don't understand. But I look to the sky and I know he can see that his legacy lives on inside of me. This is the inheritance that money can't buy, a faith that can lift me when my spirit runs dry, a love for the land and a bond strong and true. This is worth more than anything new. This is worth more than anything new. From the porch of my ranch, I can see it up there on the top of the hill, a sign of true care, a cross made of oak, planted deep in the ground by an old-time believer, the best man around. That old cross on the hill is telling me still that even at the top we must follow his will, that to look to the heavens and be forgiven, you must keep your feet planted on the ground you were given. It sees the sun rising, it sees the night fall, it sees the rain pouring and standing up tall, a witness to everything, the joy and the pain, a constant reminder of his holy reign. That old cross on the hill is telling me still that even at the top we must follow his will, that to look to the heavens and be forgiven, you must keep your feet planted on the ground you are given. They say that the rancher, while working one
feels heavy and doubt starts to creep, I look to that cross and my faith runs so deep. In the grace of our God, in a love without end, that cross is my lighthouse, my guide and my friend. That old cross on the hill is telling me still that even at the top we must follow His will. That to look to the heavens and be forgiven, you must keep your feet planted on the ground you are given.
Out on the hilltop, there's an old oak tree. It faces the winter for all men to see. Its roots are so deep and its trunk is so strong. It fears not the wind where it stood for so long. I wanna have the faith of that old oak tree, firm on your rock, Lord, for eternity. Let the storms of this life find me standing up tall, held up by you, Lord, so I'll never fall. Ah, yeah. The proud men will build their great castles of sand at the very first wave sweeps away from the land. But the work of our God, time can never destroy, and the faith of the oak is a hero's true joy. Beneath his great shadow, I've rested my head from the battles of life, from the words that were said. It taught me a lesson without any sound, that to stand up so firm, you must be on holy ground. It's all generations of men come and go. It saw empires rise and then be brought low, and it keeps on standing, just looking above, faithful to its post, a true work of love.